and welcome back. My name is Patrick Jones. I'm the president of Chicago chapter of ABATE. Not to be confused with everybody. Holy Jesus. Hello, you're live on CAN TV tonight. How can I help you?
Hello, Mr. Jones.
Yeah?
I can't go live on TV with the words I use.
You are live right now. Who is this?
My name's Joe Norman from Antioch, Illinois.
Yes, and how can I help you tonight, Joe?
I have no idea. I just heard you did a good show, and I just figured I'd call them and ask questions, but I can't remember my questions. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you guys out riding today? It's a beautiful day to ride. You still got snow up there?
Actually, we do got patches along the fence lines and down deep, and looks like the salt is gone for the most part. Yeah, we're about 10 degrees cooler than you guys are down that way.
That's because we're cool.
That's right. But the bikes are out today. It's all good.
Well, stay safe on the road. And
we'll stay safe, sir, and you have a good day, and thank you very much.
if you're not doing nothing, you can tune in to us at cantv.org/live. We have some breaking news that Ski is going to be calling in with in a little bit.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
That was one of the guys from up north. We have breaking news. Let's see. Trying to watch TV show not coming. Are we streaming live tonight? We should be. Okay, so we are. Probably it was down. No big deal. What did I want to talk to you about tonight? So tonight we're going to have somebody calling in. We've got some. I hate using that word breaking news, but every channel in the world is starting to use this breaking news thing. We don't have breaking news. We have real news that's going to be coming to you in a little bit. Let me tell you about Chicago ABATE. Chicago ABATE meets on the third Wednesday of the month. We meet at the brewery over at 3848 North Harlem Avenue. Tomorrow night is one of our premier nights. Oscar's going to be there. He's going to have all kinds of swag. I'm leaving it up. You guys can see. And Paula, where are you, Paula? You don't call in anymore. Oscar's waiting for your call. Anyways, come on out, meet with us, see if you like it. If you don't like it, go home. We don't care. Okay? Last week's show, we didn't get a chance to show you this. This is our annual spring fling. This is what supports us for the rest of the year. So it's June 15th. That's a Saturday. Gates open at noon. You can get there earlier. It's free food and beer while it lasts. Come on out. Come out tomorrow night to the show, to the meeting, and you can meet with everybody and find out what it's all about. We have a caller, so go ahead, caller.
Hey, Pat, it's Josh Wachowski with A.B.A.T.E. How you doing?
Good, Josh. How you doing? Can we just call you Ski?
Right. Yeah, Ski.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good here. So, what's going on up there?
Warm weather. It was 77 today. People were out riding their bikes. Coming down here, I seen a lot of bikes on the road. I didn't see no cars without drivers, though.
Well, you might be seeing those a little sooner than we thought.
All right, lay it on us.
All right. So, last Friday before last, we heard that the city of Peoria was planning on putting driverless cars on their streets without any kind of test to make sure that they're safe for Illinois roadways, is the way we'll put it. So I filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the Illinois Department of Transportation, who oversees those programs courtesy of the executive order signed last year by former Governor Rauner. In the response to that request, I find that there is another autonomous vehicle program being championed by the city of Chicago to be used on the McCormick busway. It's a busway that goes, or transit route that goes from downtown out to McCormick Place. It doesn't say what kind of vehicles they're proposing, whether these are going to be driverless buses or driverless cars, but just that they plan on testing it sometime very shortly. Now, the most alarming part of that is that this email was dated March 20th of this year.
Really?
It's not clear if they are already testing these this month or if they plan on doing it in the next upcoming months.
Well, I would think up here, if somebody's seen a driverless vehicle or even knew about it being run on the road, somebody would have called in, got a hold of us. They would have hit the newspapers, I'm sure.
You would think so, but here's the key. Some of these driverless vehicles still will have a safety driver in there, what they call a safety driver in it.
You mean
And
like
it's
the
a
one out
person
west?
yeah, just like the one out west that killed a pedestrian, which funny thing, when we were talking out in Washington, D.C. last week, I visited with the Department of Transportation a week ago today, and they informed us that it is perfectly safe to test driverless vehicles on public roadways because a driver is always in control of the driverless vehicle test.
Then how's it a
Now, if that makes
driverless
sense to
vehicle?
I'm not entirely certain, but they repeated that the exact same way that I just said it to you at least 3 times in a meeting. In fact, the accident that happened out west where the NTSB found that Uber was at fault because they had disabled a secondary backup system on that Volvo, courtesy of there being no regulation on them, DOT tried making the argument that ultimately it was the driver's fault because the safety driver was watching TV on their phone because the vehicle was driving itself. But that safety driver was the person who should have been at fault for the accident, according to DOT. So this is the kind of roundabout stuff we are dealing with at the government level when it comes to driverless cars.
But regardless,
Studies,
they still don't see motorcycles. Am I correct?
you are correct. We have a study that was done by a company called Dynamic Research that when they tried to get the cars to see a stopped motorcycle in front of them, 75% of the systems tested failed.
So do we know who sponsored this survey or
It
this
was
study?
a company called Dynamic Research did it on their own. And what was
Okay.
interesting is only 1 out of 8 vehicles tested saw the motorcycle 100% of the time.
From behind the motorcycle, correct?
From behind the motorcycle, correct. And
So,
we have
in the peripheral-
evidence.
What about the peripheral?
It wasn't good. It was less than 60% altogether.
That's not good.
Systems tested. Yeah, it's not very good. And what the problem is that there's no requirement for the fidelity of the sensors. Basically, you know how you or I have to pass a vision test before we're allowed on the roads?
Yeah.
Well, these things don't. They can go with however many sensors they think they can get away with. There's no requirement that they prove that the system is technically capable of performing the task of driving. You or I, we have to pass a road test. These things don't.
So would that come out of the mayor's office? I'm looking it up right now on Chicago's website.
I really wish I knew. All I know is I've got a copy of one email that has a letter from A.B.A.T.E to the federal DOT, and then there is another email that is from the company looking at doing the test. But that's all I know at this point. I actually am putting together another Freedom of Information Act request tonight to A.B.A.T.E requesting more information. I'm going to be sending one likely to the city of Chicago since they are listed as a sponsoring entity in this email or in this cover letter from DOT to the federal DOT.
Well, Chicago has CDOT. You know that, right?
But I do now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Chicago has CDOT, and they're responsible for the roads and everything. I would imagine it would have to go through them.
I would hope that it does, but nothing that I saw in this letter indicated CDOT.
I found transportation.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on their website right now under transportation, and they got Vision Zero safety plan, Chicago Smart Lighting Program, but nothing regarding autonomous vehicle.
I apologize for having you on speaker here real quick.
Oh, that's fine.
I can give you the name of the company here real quick if you give me a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to pull up this email and tell you what it says. So, On March 20th, the Illinois Department of Transportation is pleased to extend its support to the Automated Driving System Demonstration Grant led by the City of Chicago to test safe integration of automated driving systems within and near the McCormick Place busway. It says, we understand their proposed busway demonstration includes a multi-phased approach, 2.5-mile busway, and they are working with, it is a company called Amisha. Oh, Plus AI is the name of the company that's going to be doing this test.
Okay, I don't see Plus AI on their web.
And as of February 22nd, they had no clue as to timeline and no clue as to their exact routes they wanted, and doing all sorts of other stuff. They said attempting autonomous driving on the route. You know, they're looking at how they're going to plan this out. But this is being done according to Illinois Department of Transportation with support from the City of Chicago. It is a grant application led by the City of Chicago. So I would imagine one could FOIA the City of Chicago for a copy of that grant application that they filed with regards to this ADS system and go from there.
Right, and I've got up on the screen right now, I've got the City of Chicago's Transportation Department. If anybody wants to start calling them and start asking questions, the numbers are listed up on the screen. And Ski's very diligent about everything he does. He's our legislative coordinator for the state of Illinois for ABATE of Illinois. You know, Chicago is just a chapter of ABATE of Illinois. But Ski, who is the email from and who was it to?
So the email was on this one. I don't think this was McInerney. Hang on just one second. I'll go right back to it. This email was Paul Lott, who is a professional engineer, chief engineer with A.B.A.T.E. Actually, both of them are, but he's the one that signed off on it, but it's a company, like I said, it's called Plus AI. An individual by the name of Amisha Vidalia is the applicant here, it looks like. But it doesn't give any information, unfortunately, about the City of Chicago. The FOIA that I requested, so the way that this worked is that under former Governor Rauner's executive order, A.B.A.T.E. would support people who applied to them to do autonomous vehicle testing. So I requested any correspondence related to that executive order. So all I got were the correspondences from A.B.A.T.E. to DOT, which uncovered these two testing programs being run under that executive order. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and ask for more information, so hopefully we can share more detailed information with the public out there, with motorcyclists, particularly, especially in Chicago, that, hey, this is what's going on. Their claim that they're safe because there's a safety driver involved has been shown false several times already. But even worse than that is this. When that safety driver finally detects that their autonomous system is not behaving the way that it should be behaving, there is a delay in the time that they detect the problem and the time that they take control of the vehicle. That delay can be a second, could be 3 to 5 to 7 seconds before they get full control of the vehicle back.
Because it's got to shut itself down, just like those new Boeing planes. You have to shut off the autopilot to make the plane work correctly, from what I understand.
Basically, that's what you're looking at, but here's the issue. The vehicle doesn't stop. The vehicle doesn't stop moving. So if that vehicle is doing 40 miles an hour or 35 or whatever the speed limit may be there on that particular part of roadway in Chicago, that is potentially 7 seconds that vehicle is going unguided at that speed before the safety driver takes control of it.
Wow. So what I'm suggesting is everybody start contacting the City of Chicago and start asking them if this is true. Because we do have a new mayor coming in, and
Yeah.
she seems like a decent person. I've looked at everything I could on the net and everything else. Nothing shady about her, especially regarding technology and everything. And she is up for innovative stuff, I understand that, but I think we should reach out to the new mayor and maybe have a sit down.
Well, let's hope that we can get that done. I'm definitely down for it. I do know that the city of Peoria has reached out to A.B.A.T.E of Illinois, and we're trying to arrange a sit down with them in the next few weeks. So we'll see how that goes with them. Hopefully we can do the same with City of Chicago.
Well, we've always had a good relationship with the city. I mean, you've seen what they've done for us.
Yep.
That's a shame to hear that. See, if you don't reach out, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Ski, we thank you for all of that. I mean, seriously, I just found a video. It says, Illinois begins to pave the way for self-driving cars, but this is from October of last year. I mean, I could run it.
Yep. No, that was when Governor
There's
Rauner,
still a
former
long
Governor
road
Rauner,
ahead, but a
signed
new
the
state
executive
program
order
is
back in October. And that executive order essentially says this: as long as you send a letter to IDOT, you can do whatever you want on Illinois roadways. There's no requirement for safety, no requirement for technical capability, nothing.
Well, that's
And
nice.
it's a shame that happened. But what's really interesting is that Governor Pritzker has said that these things are not ready for Illinois roadways.
I heard that.
I'm really curious to find out whether or not he's aware that his own Department of Transportation is still greenlighting these projects and lending support to them.
Well, you're down in the Springfield area. I think it's time for a pop-in, don't you think?
Believe me, it's on the list of things to get accomplished. But I've been working with his press person, and I'm going to be making her aware of what's going on, saying, hey, we really need a point person out at this particular place and time, and see how this goes. I know for sure that I will personally see the governor on May 1st because he has already arranged for a press conference to sign a proclamation declaring May as Motorcycle Awareness Month.
Just like we get every year from every governor.
Hey, it's still something positive. We'll take it. I'll definitely take the opportunities that I can get there. But also, as part of that, don't forget the first Sunday in May. This year, it's May the 5th.
Cinco de Mayo, Mexican party.
Yep, we have the Freedom Rally down here in Springfield. If you are a motorcyclist anywhere in the state of Illinois and you want to show this government that you are very serious about protecting your rights and protecting your safety out there on the road, you need to be in Springfield on Sunday, May 5th. We start at 8 a.m. at the IDOT building at 2300 South Dirksen. Between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m., we have patches, leather, vendors, food, you name it, we've got it. We'll even have a bike blessing going on. And then at 1 o'clock, we will leave from IDOT to go down to the Capitol as one of the largest motorcycle parades in Illinois.
Yep, I've been there.
So if you're hearing this and you want to show your support for your rights, I really hope to see you down here in Springfield on Sunday, May 5th.
Ski, thanks for all the information, and we're going to cut you out. I'm going to run this video and show everybody what's on here. You're welcome to call in anytime. You're welcome to drive up and come on the show with us.
I'll try, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for everything you do for us and the motorcycle community.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Okay, so I did find a video from October, like I was saying, with Ski, so I'm going to run that real quick. And
There's still a long road
I believe
ahead,
there's
but
sound
a new
on
state
it.
program is beginning to pave the way for testing driverless cars. Chicago Tonight's Amanda Vinicky is here, and as always, is ready to go full speed ahead to share the latest. Amanda, what's going on?
Phil, Chicago streets filled with cars and passengers, but no drivers. May sound like something out of the Jetsons, but there are those who suggest the technology actually has roots in Illinois' not so distant past.
Back in the 1970s in a small company called Caterpillar. It was many of these tech innovations which they pioneered that are the foundational and fundamental basis of the futuristic vehicles we now see at auto and tech shows around the country, as well as right behind us here in the parking lot today.
What we saw in the parking lot may well be the future. Products of Illinois companies, including trucks outfitted with technology like 360-degree cameras that may one day be headed down the highway without a person in the driver's seat. and a small electric car like this one by Innova EV. Right now, seniors in Bronzeville can get low-cost rides in these dash cars to the grocery store or to a doctor in a manual version, but the company hopes to deploy autonomous ones once they're legal here in Illinois.
And Amanda, when might that be?
I'm actually going to have someone else, the Secretary of Illinois' Department of Transportation, answer that question.
I see a time when vehicles, trucks, and others will be completely self-driving. It's not tomorrow, but I think that is where we're going. That is where the technology is headed. Again, we've got to figure out the safety aspects of it, but I absolutely believe that's where we're headed.
So when will it come here? In other words, who knows? But steps taken today will, pun intended, begin to pave the way. Illinois' Governor Bruce Rauner signed an executive order that does two things. First, it launches the Autonomous Illinois Initiative. Basically, that's creating a division within ABATE to oversee development of driverless cars and related technology in Illinois. So, evaluating current law, recommending new laws, developing public-private partnerships, and so on. Second, it creates a testing program in which the state will work with companies that want to essentially get the show, their product, on the roads, literally. But no driverless vehicles yet. The program will facilitate legal testing and programs on public roadways or state highways where a licensed driver remains behind the wheel and able to take control of the vehicle at all times.
That isn't happening now?
That is not happening. Well, it may well be, but there's really no way to know what sort of testing is happening, and that's part of the goal, to try to bring entities together in an organized capacity to collect data, see what needs to be done. To be clear, Illinois law now does not allow driverless cars.
In Illinois, the law is very simple, that there has to be a driver behind the wheel. It doesn't say that the driver has to be driving the car.
There are a lot of questions and fears about this technology, but Blankenhorn says he believes it will make traveling safer. Think of how many people you see texting and driving, for example.
Probably 90% of our fatalities in Illinois are due to driver error. If you take that driver out of the equation, we're a safer system.
Trucking can be quite dangerous. Another Chicago area company, Autobahn AI, outfits trucks with those 360-degree cameras and GPS that I was talking about earlier that can help truck drivers see other vehicles and whatnot. But the company can also install radar, a thermal camera, and electric-powered steering system. The goal, trucks that can go on autopilot on the highway.
From a commercial release standpoint, where we can really start doing kind of mass installations, I would say we're about 2 to 3 years away from being able to reliably, without a human driver in the vehicle, automate on the highway.
And the state of Illinois is actually also working with a couple of universities planning to develop a test track for autonomous freight in Rentoul. That's just outside of Champaign.
Amanda, thank you.
So, would you want that semi driving itself next to you? We have enough problems with semis when we're on the road. I mean, the vacuum that they create when they're going by, they can actually pull your bike towards them. I've had it done. I drive a full dresser. And believe me, they're going to be, I forget what they're called, platooning or whatever, you know, these trucks, like a caravan. So who's actually steering this whole caravan? This is scary stuff, but this is the future. This is coming, and that's not a joke. As you heard earlier when we talked to Ski, this is coming. It's coming to Chicago. We're going to reach out and see if we can get a sit-down with the new mayor, because Ram's pretty much a lame duck. Ram, I take nothing away from you. You were good to us, and we appreciate everything you did for us for all the time you were in. Daily before you and everybody else, we appreciate everything that City of Chicago has done in respect of motorcycling. So, with that said, we have our awareness run coming up. That's going to be this the 28th, April 28th. Come on out, free ride, get some swag. We're going to take a short ride. We'll start at the brewery, maybe do some drinks, you know, some kitty cocktails or something. But if you want more information, come on out to our meeting tomorrow night. And you can get all the information. You get flyers, stickers, all these cool stickers that Oscar keeps giving me. What do I do with these cool ass? Look at this. All these beautiful stickers. you can get all of this at our meeting tomorrow night. It's all free. Come on by, come grab some. These, I actually have one of these. I work for the county, and they let me put this on my vehicle. So I love it. And if they tell me to take it off, I just put one on the other side. So this way, when they look for it, they won't see it. So tonight's show was brought to you by Oscar Flores. Come see Oscar. He's a great guy. I love him. I love him to death. He's on the phones. He was waiting for you guys to call tonight. You didn't call, so you didn't see Oscar. Have a good night, folks.